Namaskar. A warm welcome to World News and Indian Perspective on All India Radio. This is Abhijit Lorang, and with me is Aditi Lumba, bringing glimpses of the major developments of the day from across the globe. Over the next half an hour, we shall bring you the latest from the world of politics, economy, sports, entertainment, and more. The headlines. Digital payment in India accounts for 40% of the global digital transactions. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Digital India empowered people by making technology more accessible. India becomes third largest startup ecosystem in the world within a span of 6 years. New Delhi extends greetings to US on its Independence Day. Suspect killer of Copenhagen shooting charged with murder in Denmark. Australia ends requirement to declare COVID-19 vaccination status for international travellers from Wednesday. In the world of cricket, in women's cricket, India wins ODI series against Sri Lanka, trounces host by 10 wickets in the second match of the 3-match ODI series at Pallekele. And in men's cricket, India sets target of 378 for England in the fifth and final test at Edgbaston in Birmingham. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that India is guiding the world in the fourth industrial revolution. He said that the country which does not adopt modern technology with the passage of time, the time moves ahead, leaving it behind. He said that India was a victim of this during the third industrial revolution, but today we can proudly say that India is guiding the world in the fourth industrial revolution. He said that the Digital India has empowered people by making technology more accessible. Mr. Modi said this while addressing the program after inaugurating the Digital India Week 2022 at Mahatma Mandir in Gandhinagar on Wednesday. Mr. Modi said that India has set an example of how revolutionary the use of technology is for the entire humanity in the form of Digital India campaign. He expressed happiness that a campaign launched 8 years ago has been expanding itself with the changing times. Mr. Modi said that we had to remain in queue for paying bills and other activities, but during the last few years, everything has become online.
जो हमारी युवा पीढ़ी है, जिसका जन्म 21वीं सदी में हुआ है, उनके लिए तो आज डिजिटल लाइफ बहुत कूल लगती है, फैशन स्टेटमेंट लगता है उनको। लेकिन सिर्फ 8-10 साल पहले की स्थितियों को याद कीजिए। बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट लेने के लिए लाइन, बिल जमा करना है तो लाइन, राशन के लिए लाइन, एडमिशन के लिए लाइन, रिजल्ट और सर्टिफिकेट के लिए भी लाइन, बैंकों में लाइन। इतनी सारी लाइनों का समाधान भारत ने ऑनलाइन होकर कर दिया।
The Prime Minister said that 2,23,000 crore rupees of the country have been saved from falling into the wrong hands due to digital technology. He said that the world's largest and most efficient COVID vaccination and COVID relief programs run on a digital platform. Mr. Modi said the fintech endeavour in India is truly a solution by the people, of the people and for the people. He said India is going to expand the future of digital technology in many sectors, including space, mapping, drones, gaming and animation. Prime Minister Modi said that India is working on the target of taking electronics manufacturing to more than $300 billion in the next 3 to 4 years. He said that India wants to become a chip maker from a chip taker. Indian Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that digital payment in the country accounts for 40% of the world digital transactions. In a tweet, she lauded the Digital India initiative. The minister said the government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has worked towards strengthening the digital banking and payments ecosystem across the country in the last 8 years. In today's Hotspot section, we bring you a special program, Digital India Week Special, Gains from Digital India.
Prime Minister today inaugurated the Digital India Week 2022, whose theme is Catalyzing New India's Decade. During the program, Prime Minister launched multiple digital initiatives aimed at enhancing accessibility of technology, streamlining service delivery to ensure ease of living, and giving a boost to startups.
टेक्नोलॉजी का सही इस्तेमाल पूरी मानवता के लिए कितना क्रांतिकारी है, इसका उदाहरण भारत ने डिजिटल इंडिया अभियान के तौर पर पूरे विश्व के सामने रखा है। मुझे खुशी है कि 8 वर्ष पहले शुरू हुआ ये अभियान बदलते हुए समय के साथ खुद को विस्तार दे रहा है। समय के साथ जो देश आधुनिक टेक्नोलॉजी को नहीं अपनाता, समय उसे पीछे छोड़कर आगे निकल जाता है.
The Digital India Bhashini will enable easy access to the internet and digital services in Indian languages, including voice-based access, and help the creation of content in Indian languages. The key intervention in building artificial intelligence-based language technology solutions for Indian languages will be the creation of multilingual datasets. Digital India Bhashini will enable massive citizen engagement to build these datasets through a crowdsourcing initiative called Bhashadan. Digital India Genesis, GenNext support for innovative startups, a national deep tech startup platform to discover, support, grow and make successful startups in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities of India, was also launched today. A total outlay of 750 crore rupees has been envisaged for this scheme. Prime Minister also launched IndiaStack.global, a global repository of key projects implemented under India Stack like Aadhaar, UPI, DigiLocker, COVID vaccination platform, government e-marketplace, Diksha platform and Ayushman Bharat Digital Health Mission. This offering of India to the global public digital goods repository will help position India as the leader of building digital transformation projects at population scale and prove to be of immense help to other countries which are looking for such technology solutions.
बीते 8 वर्षों में डिजिटल इंडिया ने देश में जो सामर्थ्य पैदा किया है, उसने कोरोना वैश्विक महामारी से मुकाबला करने में भारत की बहुत मदद की है. आप कल्पना कर सकते हैं कि अगर डिजिटल इंडिया अभियान नहीं होता तो 100 साल में आई ये सबसे बड़े संकट के समय देश में हम क्या कर पाते हैं. हमने देश की करोड़ों महिलाओं, किसानों, मजदूरों, उनके बैंक अकाउंट में एक क्लिक करके हजारों करोड़ रुपए उनके यहां पहुंचा दिए. उनको जीने की कोई तकलीफ नहीं होने दी.
The My scheme, which was dedicated to citizens by Prime Minister today, is a service discovery platform facilitating access to government schemes. It aims to offer a one-stop search and discovery portal where users can find schemes that they are eligible for.
8-10 साल पहले की स्थितियों को याद कीजिए. बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट लेने के लिए लाइन, बिल जमा करना है तो लाइन, राशन के लिए लाइन, एडमिशन के लिए लाइन, रिजल्ट और सर्टिफिकेट के लिए भी लाइन, बैंकों में लाइन. इतनी सारी लाइनों का समाधान भारत ने ऑनलाइन होकर कर दिया. आज जन्म प्रमाण पत्र से लेकर सीनियर सिटीजन, वरिष्ठ नागरिक की पहचान देने वाले जीवन प्रमाण पत्र तक सरकार की अधिकतर सेवाएं डिजिटल है. वरना पहले सीनियर सिटीजन को, खास करके पेंशनर को जाकर के कहना पड़ता था कि मैं जिंदा हूं. जिन कामों के लिए कभी कई कई दिन लग जाते थे, वो आज कुछ पलों में हो जाते हैं. ई संजीवनी जैसी टेली कंसल्टेशन की जो सेवा शुरू हुई है, मोबाइल फोन से बड़े बड़े अस्पताल, बड़े बड़े डॉक्टरों के साथ प्राइमरी सारी चीजें पूरी हो जाती. और इसके माध्यम से अब तक 3 करोड़ से अधिक लोगों ने अपने घर में बैठे ही अपने मोबाइल से अच्छे अस्पताल में अच्छे से डॉक्टर से कंसल्ट किया है. सबसे बड़ी बात जो पारदर्शिता इससे आई, उसने गरीब और मध्यम वर्ग को अनेक स्तरों पर चलने वाले भ्रष्टाचार से मुक्ति दी है. आज डिजिटल गवर्नेंस का एक बेहतरीन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर भारत में है. जनधन, मोबाइल और आधार, JAM. ये इसकी जो त्रिशक्ति का देश के गरीब और मिडिल क्लास को सबसे अधिक लाभ हुआ है. इससे जो सुविधा मिली है और जो पारदर्शिता आई है, उससे देश के करोड़ों परिवारों का पैसा बच रहा है. 8 साल पहले इंटरनेट डेटा के लिए जितना पैसा खर्च करना पड़ता था, उससे कई गुना कम, यानी एक प्रकार से नगण्य, उस कीमत में आज उससे भी बेहतर डेटा सुविधा मिल रही है. पहले बिल भरने के लिए, कहीं एप्लीकेशन देने के लिए, रिजर्वेशन के लिए, बैंक से जुड़े काम हो, ऐसी हर सेवा के लिए दफ्तरों के चक्कर लगाने पड़ते थे.
The Prime Minister also dedicated to the citizens Meri Pehchan, National Single Sign-On for One Citizen Login. National Single Sign-On (NSSO) is a user authentication service in which a single set of credentials provide access to multiple online applications or services. Prime Minister also announced the first cohort of 30 institutions to be supported under the Chips to Startup (C2S) program. The C2S program aims to train specialized manpower in the area of design of semiconductor chips at bachelor's, master's and research level and act as a catalyst for growth of startups involved in semiconductor design in the country. It offers mentoring at organizational level and makes available state-of-the-art facilities for design to the institutions. This is part of the India Semiconductor Mission to build a strong design ecosystem in semiconductors.
आज भारत अगले 3-4 साल में इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग को $300 बिलियन से भी ऊपर ले जाने के लक्ष्य पर काम कर रहा है। भारत चिप टेकर से चिप मेकर बनना चाहता है। सेमीकंडक्टर्स का उत्पादन बढ़ाने के लिए भारत में तेजी से निवेश बढ़ रहा है। पीएलआई स्कीम से भी इसमें मदद मिल रही है। यानी मेक इन इंडिया की शक्ति और डिजिटल इंडिया की ताकत की डबल डोज भारत में इंडस्ट्री 4.0 को नई ऊंचाई पर ले जाने वाली है। आज का भारत उस दिशा की तरफ बढ़ रहा है जिसमें नागरिकों को योजनाओं के लाभ के लिए, दस्तावेजों के लिए सरकार के पास फिजिकल रूप में आने की जरूरत नहीं होगी। हर घर में पहुंचता इंटरनेट और भारत की क्षेत्रीय भाषाओं की विविधता भारत के डिजिटल इंडिया अभियान को नई गति देगी। डिजिटल इंडिया अभियान ऐसे ही नए नए आयाम खुद में जोड़ता चलेगा। डिजिटल स्पेस में ग्लोबल लीडरशिप को दिशा देगा।
Digital India Week 2022 will have physical events from today to 6 July in Gandhinagar. The program will celebrate the anniversary of Digital India and demonstrate how public digital platforms like Aadhaar, UPI, CoWIN and DigiLocker have enabled ease of living for citizens. It will showcase India's technological prowess to the global audience, explore collaboration and business opportunities with a wide range of stakeholders and present the decade of opportunities for next gen. It will witness participation of startups and leaders from government, industry and academia.
नई राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति भी टेक्नोलॉजी के लिए जरूरी माइंडसेट तैयार करने में महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाने वाली। अटल इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर का एक बहुत बड़ा नेटवर्क देश में तैयार किया जा रहा है। इसी प्रकार पीएम ग्रामीण डिजिटल साक्षरता अभियान यानी पीएम दिशा देश में डिजिटल सशक्तिकरण को प्रोत्साहित करने का एक अभियान चला रहा है। अभी तक इसके 40,000 से अधिक सेंटर देश भर में बन चुके हैं और 5 करोड़ से अधिक लोगों को ट्रेनिंग दी जा चुकी है।
A digital mela is also being organized with over 200 stalls that will showcase digital solutions enabling ease of living and also the solutions that have been developed by Indian unicorns and startups. Digital India Week will also have India Stack Knowledge Exchange in virtual mode from 7th to 9th July.
India has become the third largest startup ecosystem in the world within a span of 6 years. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal said this while releasing the results of the third edition of Ranking of States Exercise 2021 on support to startup ecosystems in New Delhi on Sunday. We have a report.
Mr. Goyal said that the Indian government under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi has acted as a catalyst for startups rather than a controller. He said initiatives like Fund of Funds, Seed Fund Scheme, income tax exemption for 3 years and resolving issue of angel tax have helped the startup ecosystem in the country. He stressed that India should be the #1 ecosystem for startups in the world. He also said there are over 71,000 startups from over 640 districts and concrete efforts can lead to registration of more startups. In the third edition of the Ranking of States Exercise 2021, Gujarat and Karnataka emerged as the best performers in a category of states. With Bhupendra's report, this is Niharika Bhuvania for World News, All India Radio, New Delhi.
India's merchandise export registered a growth of 16.8% in the last month over the corresponding period of previous year. The country's merchandise exports has reached to $37.9 billion in June this year, which was $32.49 billion in June last year. Merchandise export was led by robust growth in petroleum products, electronic goods and ready-made textiles. Data released by the Commerce and Industry Ministry showed that country's merchandise export in April and June quarter of this year registered a growth of 22.22% over the corresponding period of previous year. Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister of India, Hardeep Puri, said that green hydrogen will provide momentum to country's journey towards energy independence by 2047. He said India has a huge edge in green hydrogen production, owing to its favourable geographic conditions and presence of abundant natural elements. While chairing a meeting with stakeholders on green hydrogen in New Delhi on Monday, Mr. Puri said green hydrogen must be pushed as an alternative source of energy, as country is spending 12 lakh crore rupees to import energy.
External Affairs Minister of India Dr. S. Jaishankar on Monday extended greetings to the United States on the occasion of the country's Independence Day. We have a report.
Dr. S. Jaishankar said that India will continue to work together with the United States to boost the comprehensive global strategic partnership. Notably, the India-US relationship was elevated to a comprehensive global strategic partnership during the state visit of the then President Donald Trump to India in February 2020. Taking to Twitter, Dr. S. Jaishankar extended warm greetings to the U.S. State Secretary Antony Blinken and government and the people of the United States of America on their Independence Day. The U.S. Independence Day is celebrated on the 4th of July. This is the 246th anniversary of the adoption of the Declaration of Independence. On July 4th, 1776, the Declaration of Independence was adopted by the Continental Congress 2 days after a vote on whether to separate from the United Kingdom. India's ties with the United States were strengthened by regular contact at the highest levels. The third annual 2+2 ministerial dialogue held in New Delhi on October 27, 2020, enabled a comprehensive review of the bilateral ties from the strategic perspective and provided political direction to advancing these further. Responding to the COVID-19 pandemic, India and the US stepped up bilateral collaboration, particularly in the field of health, medical research, therapeutics, and vaccine development. The United States is India's largest trading partner, goods and services combined. Desk report, Niharika Bhovania for World News, All India Radio.
Celebrating 50 years of diplomatic relations between India and the United Arab Emirates, Indian Ambassador to the UAE, Sanjay Sudhir, and CEO of Emirates Post, postal operator for the United Arab Emirates, launched a physical copy of India-UAE joint commemorative stamp today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, earlier in February released the joint commemorative stamp on the occasion of the 75th anniversary of India's independence and marking the 50th year of UAE's foundation.
The second round of Foreign Office consultations between India and Mozambique were held in New Delhi on Monday. The Indian side was led by Mr. Puneet R. Kundal, Joint Secretary, East and Southern Africa, and the Mozambican side was led by Mr. Ismail Valagi, Director for Asia and Oceania in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation of Mozambique. During the consultations, both delegations reviewed the multifaceted bilateral relationships covering political exchanges, development partnership projects, defense and security cooperation, trade and economic matters, among others. The two sides agreed to enhance people-to-people exchanges and cultural cooperation. The Indian side congratulated Mozambique on its election to the non-permanent membership of the UN Security Council for the term 2023 and 24. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. In Denmark, a 22-year-old man suspected of killing 3 people at a shopping center in the capital Copenhagen has been charged with murder. 2 Danish citizens, both aged 17 and a 47-year-old Russian citizen, were killed in Sunday's attack. Police said the suspect had a mental health issue and there is no indication of a terror motive. He had a rifle and a knife, and the shooting was random, not motivated by gender or anything else, they said. The suspect appeared in front of a court accompanied by 3 heavily armed officers, Danish media report. The suspect's lawyers refused to enter a plea for the accused while the media were present, and the judge ordered the rest of the hearing to be behind closed doors. The judge also imposed a name ban on both the suspect and the victims. Speaking to reporters earlier on Monday, Police Chief Søren Thomassen, said that they believe the suspect, described as an ethnic Dane, was acting alone and was not helped by anyone else. 4 more people were hospitalized with gunshot wounds and were in critical but stable condition. In all, 30 people were hurt, most in the panicked stampede after the shooting.
In Australia, the government has announced an end to requirements for international travellers to declare COVID-19 vaccination status. Home Affairs Minister Claire O'Neill and Health Minister Mark Butler on Sunday announced that from Wednesday, travellers arriving in Australia will no longer have to complete a digital passenger declaration to declare vaccination status. It marks an end to all Australia's international travel restrictions more than 2 years after they were first introduced in March 2020 to prevent the spread of COVID-19. The Home Affairs Minister said in a statement that removing these requirements will not only reduce delays at airports but will encourage more visitors and skilled workers to choose Australia as a destination. All people flying to Australia will still be required to wear face masks during the duration of the flight. The announcement came when COVID-19 case numbers continue to rise in Australia. In Australia, more than 30,000 residents of Sydney and its surrounding areas were told to evacuate or prepare to abandon their homes on Monday as the country's largest city faces its 4th and possibly worst round of flooding in less than a year and a half. Days of torrential rain caused dams to overflow and waterways to break their banks, bringing a new flood emergency to parts of the city of 5 million people. Emergency Management Minister Murray Watt said that the latest information that they have is that there is a very good chance that the flooding will be worse than any of the other 3 floods that those areas had in the last 18 months. New South Wales State Premier Dominic Perrottet said 32,000 people were impacted by evacuation orders and warnings.
The week-long UN Ocean Conference concluded on 1st of July with the unanimous adoption of the Lisbon Declaration, Our Ocean, Our Future, Our Responsibility. More than 6,000 participants, including 24 heads of the state and government, and over 2,000 representatives of civil society joined the conference in Lisbon and galvanized efforts to save our ocean. The conference succeeded in translating ideas into action. With the conclusion of the conference, a new wave of ocean actions will sail from Lisbon to all the corners of the world. It is worth noting that India has assured the world community that it is committed to protect at least 30% of lands, waters and oceans and adhere to its commitment of 30 by 30 by 2030. Minister for Earth Sciences Dr. Jitendra Singh made this assurance at the conference. In the United States, the State Department has reiterated its stance over the former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan's claims that Washington was involved in toppling of his government and said that there was no truth to these claims. On Imran Khan's claim on the U.S. involvement in toppling him, a U.S. spokesperson said, as U.S. has said before, there is no truth to these allegations, reported Dawn. This came after media reports that Imran Khan's party has now apologized to the U.S., against whom it had leveled allegations of planning to conspire to throw the cricketer turned politician out of power.
Uganda has announced to discover 31 million metric tons of gold waiting to be mined in the country after several surveys were conducted. A spokesperson from the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development in Uganda, Solomon Muyata, said that these reports are aimed at attracting gold miners and investors in the crypto sector. In a bid to boost the country's economy, the Ugandan government has licensed Wagaigi Gold Mining Company, a Chinese firm, to start producing gold products in Busia district. Muyata said that the discovered gold could start being mined immediately. Refining gold locally could enhance job creation and improve social service delivery to those living close to where the mineral is extracted. Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni has called for the local refinement of the commodity, calling any external refinery criminal. And
Indian women's cricket team thrashed Sri Lanka by 10 wickets in the second match, clinching the 3-match ODI series by 2-0 at Pallikele on Monday. Put into bat first, host Sri Lanka scored 173 runs in the stipulated 50 with help of Ama Kanchana's 47 and Nilakshi De Silva's 32 runs. For India, Renuka Singh claimed 4 wickets, while Meghna Singh and Deepti Sharma took 2 wickets each. In reply, Indian openers Shefali Verma and Smriti Mandhana overhauled the target in just 25.4 overs. Mandhana remained unbeaten on 94, while Shefali made not out 71 runs. India have taken on an unassailable by 2-0 lead in the 3-match series. Earlier, India have also won the T20 series. The third and the final match will be played on Thursday at Pallikele International Cricket Stadium at Kandy.
In men's cricket, chasing a victory target of 378 runs set by India, England were 254 for 3 in the final game of the 5-match test series at Edgbaston in Birmingham when the reports last came in. India finished the second innings with 245 runs on board, and with the first innings lead of 132 runs, they put a challenging 378-run target for England in the fourth innings. For India, Rishabh Pant made 66, while Cheteshwar Pujara scored a fluent 57 in the second innings. For England, Ben Stokes was the leading wicket-taker with 4 wickets in his kitty, while Stuart Broad and Matty Potts capped 2 each. In their first innings, the hosts scored 284 runs in response to visitors' 416 runs.
Now let us take a look at the major developments around the world as reported in the foreign press. First, we have a look at the press reports on China. AFP reports that a Hong Kong lawmaker who posed for a group photo with Chinese President Xi Jinping during the leader's visit to the financial hub this week confirmed Sunday he has since tested positive for coronavirus. Xi visited Hong Kong under strict security measures to mark the 25th anniversary of the city's handover from Britain in his first trip outside mainland China since the outbreak of the pandemic. PTI reports that as many as 27 people were reported missing after a floating crane sank off the coast of South China's Guangdong province.
Now let's have a look at the press reports on Nepal. Republica reports that Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba is expected to visit the United States in the near future. Rising Nepal reports that the Indian ambassador to Nepal, Naveen Srivastava, paid a courtesy visit to Minister for Communication and Information Technology Gyanendra Bahadur Karki at the latter's office at Singha Darbar. During the meeting, they discussed issues related to bilateral relations and mutual interest.
Now let's have a look at the press reports from Balochistan. Baloch Varna News reports that at least 5 Pakistani security officials have been killed in 2 attacks in Balochistan's Keech district on June 26th and June 29th. The Baloch Liberation Army BLA in a statement to the media informed that 5 Pakistani soldiers were killed and accepted responsibility for the attacks. Balochistan Post reports that 4 Baloch students have been forcibly disappeared by security forces. The students were travelling from Quetta to Keech for the Eid holidays when they were offloaded from a passenger bus near Mustang.
Now let's have a look at the press reports from Pakistan. Pakistan Today reports that Prime Minister Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif on Sunday directed the authorities concerned to take immediate steps for making the shut-down power plants functional and sought a report entailing clear reasons for the load shedding. The News International reports that Punjab Minister for Law Malik Muhammad Ahmad Khan on Sunday said that Pakistan is not under any threat from a foreign conspiracy as is being drummed by the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf since its ouster from the government. A quick look at the headlines once again. Digital payment in India accounts for 40% of the global digital transactions. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Digital India empowered people by making technology more accessible. India becomes 3rd largest startup ecosystem in the world within a span of 6 years. New Delhi extends greetings to US on its Independence Day. Suspect killer of Copenhagen shooting charged with murder in Denmark. Australia ends requirement to declare COVID-19 vaccination status for international travellers from Wednesday. In women's cricket, India wins ODI series against Sri Lanka, trounces the hosts by 10 wickets in the second match of the 3-match ODI series at Pallikele. And in men's cricket, India sets a target of 378 for England in the 5th and final test at Edgbaston in Birmingham. And now before we end, let us listen to Mahatma Gandhi's favorite bhajan, Vaishnava Jan, by artists from the United States on their Independence Day. And with that we end this bulletin. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.